Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot cover call video. Well, hey, look, today we're going to talk about SOXL. I own SOXL in my account. I own 6,000 shares and I'm in at 32. This thing's now trading for $27.50. I have owned it for months, if not a year. This entire position, 6,000 shares, I haven't seen above 30 in months, if not a year. But you know what? We've been generating cash flow with this, and we've been buying dividend-paying funds. And I'll show you where we're at now. I just closed a trade for which I pocketed $1,000, paid back 7 cents of the 21 cents they paid me. I did a covered call. I'm going to talk about that trade. So if you're sitting here and you're working the 9 to 5 and you're wondering where you can have money, where you can make money to then buy dividend-paying funds, all those great YouTube videos you see where all these young bucks out there are buying all these dividend funds and they're getting rich, and you find yourself a little envious, right? Even I find myself envious when I watch those videos. I'll tell you, people out there are getting rich. These high-yielding dividend-paying funds, they basically show up about a year and a half ago and has made a lot of people a lot of money. But there's a lot to worry about these things, such as, plug your ears out there, NAV erosion. You know, I'll tell you what, that is actually a problem. A lot of people are facing it, and retirees are having a big problem with it because although they're getting paid the big fat dividend and they can tell all their friends that they're making tens of thousands of dollars a week and month, well, what they're not telling them is their account is slowly sinking like a ship. Because when they distribute those high dividends and the stock or ETF cannot get above that price where they distributed that dividend, yeah, that's called NAV erosion because all of these things only have cash. I mean, unless you're investing in things that do hold the underlying and do have stock or fund appreciation. But what we're talking about are these high-yielding dividend-paying funds like Misty and Ulti and all these others that are paying incredible dividends for which you have NAV erosion. I'll tell you, I'll show you mine. If you're looking on screen right now, I'll go ahead and bring this up. This wasn't going to be the topic of the day, but we will talk about it because I know a lot of people are interested. This is my dividend tree. Like I've told you over the years, I want to have a dividend tree grove. I want to be diversified. I know people out there are like loading up on Ulti and Misty, and that's all they have. So when Misty goes from 26 bucks in February, when I got involved, and it's now trading for a little over 17, they call that getting your money back. You're not making any money. But yet all the Misty Mafia will tell you that, well, I don't know the trade, and oh, this is going to the moon, and all these things. I'll tell you what I am. I am kicked in the nads with a fund that is down a lot. Let's just leave it at that. A lot. Now you say, hey, well, you made your money back with the dividend. Well, I pay for my lifestyle. I don't know what lifestyle you live where you could buy Misty and just drip invest Misty and then have your Visa bills magically paid. So please, with that argument is never talked about. It's always total return. What? Total return? I keep Misty until it pays down 26 points and then I can start living a good life? Please. What I'm going to tell you is you need to find dividend-paying funds that don't NAV erode as much. And then you're going to use cover call writing and cash secure put selling, which I'm going to show you in this video, to replenish. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I know I get people upset, but that is the reality. Okay, the reality is if you were in Misty when it first came out, sure, you've made 350% every single dividend. You are literally spending it. Free, clear money. But that's not where people are now. And in fact, right now, that's a sinking ship. All these Misty Mafia, they have jumped ship. And now they're going to Ulti, the Ulti Warriors. And that pig is slowly sinking. I remember watching Ulti when they started their new strategy. I think it was like $8. That thing you can get right now for a little under $6. I think you got a 5 spot printed this morning. You need to understand what you're investing in. I love investing in diversified funds. You could say Alti is diversified, and I would agree with you. But understand what Alti does. They use high IV stocks, and they write very aggressive covered calls. So they make those big covered call premiums. Look, I would rather use something like XDTE, IWMY, YMAG, YMAX, QQQY, RDTE. I'll tell you what, RDTE is a rock. They keep paying 30 cents, and this thing is holding. It's basically in a holding pattern because it is the Russell 2000. And I love the Russell 2000 to go higher because they're going to cut interest rates. You know they're going to cut interest rates. Look, either the current guy's going to cut interest rates to keep his job, or he's going to lose his job and the new guy's going to cut interest rates so he plays favor to the big man in office. It's just the way it is. Interest rates will be cut. The Russell 2000 will go higher. IWMY and RDTE, those are going to be my plays. So looking at IWMY, I have 745 shares. RDTE, I have 738 shares. So when I write covered calls, and I'm going to show you the SOXL trade right now. Okay, I've been talking a bit here. I'm going to show you how I'll take the $1,000 bill that I made, and we're going to buy something like RDTE. Now, in my dividend tree Grove, I have a lot of shares over 1,000. Now, I like that number, 1,000 shares. This is how I do it. When I write covered calls, cash secure puts, and create a premium, I'm going to buy any number of these randomly. So say, for example, for $1,000 profit, I'm going to go ahead and take 25% and buy XDTE as a part of the tax bucket. That just happens. We pay the tax man 25% regardless because we sell premium. We're in a high tax bracket. 25% might cover my bill. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take $250 of that $1,000 premium profit, and we're going to pay the tax man. We buy XDTE. Just as a placeholder, XDTE pays us a weekly dividend, which is 70% return of capital, which means I'm only being taxed 30 cents of a dollar. That's basically 4 to 5 cents on every dollar I make. So I absolutely love that. We pay the tax man regardless. Now, the reason we pay the tax man regardless, I could even have a taxed harvesting loss for this year, but I'll keep paying the tax man. Why? Because it conditions me to take profits and buy a passive investment, an investment that pays me cash flow. I want cash flow producing investments so I can live off of that passive income. Right? At the membership, I show all the members this. We talk about this. You got to be a member, man. You're getting all of my trades. This $1,000 trade I'm about to show you, they got. And we have like 10 of them on the board right now ready to go. We are constantly trading because this is how I earn my living. I retired 2 years ago from the 9 to 5, and I wasn't so well-to-do that I could just sit on a porch in a rocking chair. This is where I was going to be. Right? I put in 10 years at this, selling premium, writing covered calls. Now, I know for some of you out there, you're saying, please stop yelling. I have these soft ears. Turn the volume down. I get excited. Please. I wasn't able to sit on the porch, have my iced tea, and sit in a rocking chair. Okay? I had to go to work, and this is what I was going to do. I bet on myself. I coach people. I don't know if you know this. Many people don't know this, but I coach. I do one-on-one coaching, and you can actually sign up for one-on-one coaching, but I have a waiting list. So if you want one-on-one coaching, you can absolutely, in the comments below, one-on-one coaching, click that link, and you'll see exactly how I can coach you. Now, we are at a point where I took a bet on myself, and that's what I did. I retired from the 9 to 5, 30 years. Then we moved right here to this desk. Basically, what we're doing is this. We're trading the markets. I'm going to show you my August, but I'm also going to show you this trade here. Gosh, I get going and I have so much fun because what I want to do is motivate you. See, I can lead you to the water, but you have to drink it. You've heard that before. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't get them to drink it. For 10 years on YouTube, I've been trying to show you my trades. We talk about them. So maybe you learn something, but more importantly, maybe you feel like you could do it. This is just me, man, sitting at my desk. You could have learned this literally in 3 or 4 YouTube videos. So for you to not have tried this the many years and years and years that you found me on YouTube, I need to motivate you to get off the bench. Start small, paper trade, get the confidence. Hell, become a member and follow my trades. These are real trades I'm doing. We're trading my money in retirement. So here's my dividend tree. This pays me all passively. I have margin where I'm making, on 2 margin trades, I'm making $2,000 a week. I wrote the guide, The Smart Way. I love calling it the smart way of using margin for dividend investing and income. You can get that as a member. Now, let's talk about how I'm able to buy all these dividend paying funds. I do it through writing covered calls and selling cash secured puts. And real quick, I'll show you my August numbers. And August has been incredible. The markets have been incredible. And when you sell premium, write covered calls, sell cash secured puts, all you need is a sideways to up market. Now, I make money when the market goes down, and you can too, but really, that's our sweet spot. Give us a sideways market to an upward market, and that's what we have had the benefit of recently. Well, here is your August numbers. These are incredible. These are all covered calls and cash secured puts. I trade in a taxable account and my IRA. Our first week, we jumped out $14,387. Now, that's $9,300 covered calls, cash secured puts, and then $4,900 on the dividend side. By the way, that's not my average weekly on the dividend side. Misty dropped its $1,500 dividend, and you're going to see basically where I'm at on an average per week dividend collection. This supports my lifestyle. Next week, we come strong, $10,000, and there's your $3,600 drop. These are weeks, not months, folks. These are weeks. 10 grand on the cover call side. Look, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades. See, if you're a member, you get all of these trades, right? I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, many more here. That looks like 7 or 8. Also, I show you all my kids' trades. You get to see all the trades I do for my kids. You want to be a member. It's in the description below. Get your 1 free month. Let's finish this up. We had 13,600 the second week. Then we had 12,900 the third week. And now we're working on the 4th week. We've already jumped out with this $1,000 trade on SOXL. So let's get to the star of the show. So this is the closing SOXL trade. So the members get write-ups when I open them up, pretty much close to real time. And then, of course, when I close them, because I will close my options early, and I'm going to explain why I did it here. Now, this is what we do for a living. We write covered calls, we sell cash secured puts. So in this case, what we did was we own SOXL, and we're going to go ahead and write a covered call on those shares. Going back to the open of this covered call trade, it was on August 12th. So on August 12th, SOXL is trading for $27.38 per share. You see it right there on screen. Now, what I want you to recognize is SOXL is trading for $27.42. When I do this trade on August 12th, it's literally trading 2 cents below where it's at. On August 12th, we go ahead and write the August 22nd covered call. Now, I'm going to give my shares away under my stock price because I used the CPT expected stock move calculator to determine that strike price. Do you have shares underwater right now and you want to write covered calls on them, but you don't know what strike price to pick? The CPT expected stock move calculator helps me pick that. Well, we do pick it. In fact, we ended up getting whatever we ended up getting. I think we got 24 cents. Doesn't sound like much, but on 6,000 shares, that's good money. So I also tell the members when we're going to think about buying this back, absolutely bought it back for 7 cents. Now, we bought it back early and we make $1,020. Now, we were expected to make more. But here's why we buy this option back, okay? We buy this option back because of time, okay? Notice when I put on the trade on this side of this week, and we have this other week. So August 12th to August 22nd is about 2 weeks. Now we get 24 cents here, right? We get 24 cents and we place the trade. Now the stock's trading at 27x, and we're going to give them away at 31. So the chance of it getting to 31 in this very short window, unless there's some good news, I mean, it's really not, right? It's SOXL, which is a diversified 3x leverage ETF to the semiconductors. That's what we trade here at the membership. Diversified ETFs, so we don't have to vet any of our stocks. We get the 3x leverage ETFs because they give us the 3x premium, so we can make more money than pretty much any stock out there. I can show you right now how we would use BitX, the 2x leverage ETF, to Bitcoin. We would use that before we would ever use MicroStrategy. And a lot of people say, man, MicroStrategy has the highest IV. Well, I'll tell you what, side by side, BitX actually gives you more premium than MicroStrategies. And what I'll tell you is no single stock risk. Bitcoin is a commodity. It's going to be traded. It might even be manipulated. Look, only 25% of all Bitcoin ever known to exist is being traded. And there's big whales trading that. So they run them up, sell them off. We have been trading BitX to the tune of, I think I made $67,000 on BitX alone since I've been doing it. I think I've been doing it since last July. But MicroStrategy carries single stock risk. This is why I'm using SOXL here instead of AMD. SOXL versus NVIDIA. SOXL against any of the semiconductors. I don't care if a semiconductor stock rockets higher or falls lower. I've got SOXL. It's going to trade in a beautiful range, and that's all we need because I'm able to do these kind of covered calls. Now, because I have 6,000 shares, I'm going to make a lot of money. But if you had 100 shares, you still make cash on cash percentage gain, decent amount of money. Now, in this case, maybe not so much because remember, I am deep out of the money because I can't have my shares taken away. So I really have to do deep out of the money. What if you had done the 28 strike or the 29 strike? You'd have made more premium. Your cash on cash percentage gain would have been much higher. I'm telling you, consider using leveraged ETFs to the indexes. You got diversification. Now, as we move into this first week, time decay doesn't really step in. This 24 cents is 100% time value premium. There's no intrinsic value. The stock's trading under 31. So that means if they're going to pay me a premium, somebody's going to buy my shares at 31. Well, it's all time value premium. There's no intrinsic value. The stock is not above 31, which means above 31, it's in the money. Okay, so there's no in the money here. This is all premium. So what happens is we get into this first week and maybe this option here treads water, trades at 20 cents, 24 cents, maybe 26 cents. But once it gets into this week, being the last week, time decay does this. And with SOXL nowhere near 31, remember I showed you it's trading for 27.40? And I put this trade on when it was 27.38. Well, time decay is happening. So what do? I'm going to go ahead and buy this back for 7 cents. Okay, 7 cents. And we're going to take this off the board, make the $1,000. Why do I buy it back? A lot of people say, John, why do you buy this back? Let that 7 cents go to 6 cents, 5 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent, and get out of the trade. Here's the deal. I've been in this game so long to know that time is what we sell. Time. We sell time. Do you hear that? We sell time. You know, when you're a dividend buyer, right? You're out there, you're watching this video and you buy dividend stocks and funds, you buy time. And what you're hoping for when you buy time is that they pay you, right? You're buying time when you buy a dividend paying fund and it pays you back. See, I sell time. And this is where you can absolutely build your dividend empire by using covered call writing. Because you sell time, you take that money and you buy time, and guess what? You start to buy dividend paying funds, your dividend trees, your dividend grove. That's the mindset. We go from the trade to the wealth mindset real quick. And in fact, if you want to be a part of that, in the description below, get your 1 free month offer. Don't know what you're waiting for. Now, this is the reason I buy this back. And we're going to finish up the video right here. I buy it back because here's the current week, okay? Remember that time decay that's going to happen right here? Well, let's break this down into days, okay? So right now it's fallen to 7 cents. So I buy this back and I actually give the call buyer 7 cents back. And to be honest, that's quite a bit. I usually don't give 7 cents back, but here's the deal. This goes until this Friday. So the most I can make is 7 cents. I've already pocketed a $1,000 bill in my wallet. What I'm going to do is buy it back and pay that money back. It's like a couple $100. Now I have these weeks on this side of the trade, right? I have 4 full days on this side of the trade, and then I have all that time on the next side of the trade. Can I make for these 4 days 7 cents? Right? That's all I have to make to sell a covered call on SOXL on this side of the week using next week expiration. And I'll tell you what, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's take a look at SOXL. We're going to finish this up in the description below. You can click the link to see if you want some one-on-one coaching or a Zoom call. Hey, I do it all. Got to put skin in the game. It's in the link. Want to be a member? Again, 1 free month offer. Got to put skin in the game? Would love to welcome you aboard. Now, SOXL right now is trading under that. In fact, I could have bought that option back probably for 5 and 4 cents right now, but it doesn't matter. In fact, I'm losing money doing this video right now because I got to put on a trade because I need to use these next 4 days to make up the 7 cents. Now, I know I'm going to be able to do that, but look at SOXL. So right now, if you were a member, you would get an email. In fact, I'm going to do this for them. If you were a member, you would get this email. SOXL has pulled back from 29x. It almost hit 30. It's pulled back. It's filling this gap right here. Okay, it's filling this gap right here. And this is what I show the members. Notice this run, and then we get this huge gap. It fell all the way to 22. Then it fills that entire gap by going higher. Now it's gone higher, and we have this tremendous gap. Look what's happening. It's backfilling the gap. So we're going to do a covered call or cash secure put, if this was a new position, right here at the Keltner Channel mid. Stick it in at 26. If it falls to 25, you can still get off a covered call. Or if you want to be ultra conservative, kick it down to the 25 strike and you can go ahead and get off a decent cash secure put. You get that downside protection, and that's the beautiful thing because that's where we're going to plant our flag and we're going to start our trade. See, I started my trade with this way back at 32. So I love the idea that we can get involved at 25. We got a beautiful trading range. And this is before the crash. This is probably where it's going to trade for a bit. I hope it gets me out right at the top, maybe 32, and I'm gone. Hey, look, I'm going to leave it right there. Be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.